Imagine walking through ancient Athens, the scent of olive trees in the air when you overhear a conversation between two toga-clad figures. They're not talking about the weather or the latest chariot race. No, they're delving into something deeper, something that resonates with us thousands of years later, the concept of altruism and charity through the lens of Stoicism. Now, Stoicism might conjure images of unsmiling sages preaching endurance, but let's dust off those old misconceptions. Stoicism, at its heart, is about living in harmony with nature, and guess what? Humans are naturally social beings. The Stoics understood that. They knew that our well-being is interconnected, that helping others isn't just a nice thing to do, it's embedded in the very fabric of our existence. Seneca, one of the big names in the Stoic playground, would probably tell us we are born to unite with our fellow humans, and he'd be spot on. He saw generosity not as a moral duty imposed by society, but as something intrinsically linked to our nature. Stoic teachings urge us to extend kindness to others, not for praise or reward, but because it aligns with our rational and social nature. So, how exactly do Stoics view altruism and charity? For starters, they'd say it's not about the grand gestures. It's the daily acts of kindness, the small but significant ways we can ease another's burden. It's about sharing what we have, be it time, resources, or knowledge. And sure, the Stoics were big on self-discipline, but they never said you should hoard your resources. In fact, they'd argue the opposite, that the wise person shares their abundance freely, knowing that fortunes can change and the world is unpredictable. But here's where it gets interesting. While Stoics promote helping others, they also preach detachment from outcomes. It sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? On one hand, they're saying, go on, help your neighbor, and on the other, but don't get too caught up in the results. This is because Stoics believe we should focus on our intentions and efforts, the parts we control, and not on things outside our influence, like whether our help is accepted or the ultimate impact it has. Now, don't mistake this for coldness or lack of empathy. Stoics are not advocating for indifference. Rather, they're encouraging us to act with kindness while maintaining an inner peace regardless of the outcome. It's about doing good for goodness sake, not for a pat on the back. Stoicism also gives us a reality check. We're not all powerful superheroes. The philosophy teaches us to recognize that everyone has their own path, their own challenges. Our role isn't to save everyone, it's to contribute positively, to provide support, and then step back and let others walk their journey. And of course, the famous Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor no less, would likely chime in with his thoughts. He's the guy that reminded us to look within and to see that the capacity for good starts in our own hearts. He would encourage us to practice kindness, not only when it's easy or convenient, but as a constant, guiding principle of our lives. So, as the conversation in ancient Athens fades into the background and we return to the present, we carry with us these valuable nuggets of Stoic wisdom. We're reminded that being altruistic and charitable is deeply human and in tune with Stoic philosophy. Doing good, sharing with others, and acting from a place of kindness resonate through the ages, proving that true fulfillment comes from contributing to the well-being of others while maintaining inner tranquility. In today's world, where every news cycle seems to shout despair, where social media is a battleground, and where the notion of a global village sometimes feels like a quixotic dream, Stoic teachings on altruism and charity offer a beacon of hope. They tell us that every single act of kindness is a step towards a more harmonious society and a more fulfilling personal life, a life where we can lie down at night knowing we've lived in accordance with nature and indeed, our deepest selves. As we part ways, remember, the next time you're faced with an opportunity to help someone, take it, do it with a full heart, without expectation, and know that in that moment, you're walking the path of the Stoics, a path as relevant now as it ever was. And who knows, maybe your act of kindness will inspire someone else, creating a domino effect that echoes the Stoic spirit for generations to come. After all, isn't that the kind of world we all want to be a part of?